And they have the scripts, the video production, all the whole 9 yards.
everything. They literally have full blown scripts
And I
for
would say
video.
it's probably harder than a movie because a movie had this one script, but in a video game, okay, player A did this, player B did this, and all
Yeah.
these like variables you got to do.
And then of course they want you to do, act the lines. And a lot of times the people do the motion capture as well. So you're doing the voice and the motion capture. So you got to act everything out as you're doing it. And like some of those characters are just in depth. I mean, we ride for Arthur Morgan.
Mm-hmm.
Like Arthur Morgan, Joel, Ellie, like they get real in depth with those characters to the point where you just like, man, you you get wrapped up in them almost. It's like soap opera.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
like
yeah,
people would always, I gotta watch my soaps.
yeah,
That's how those video games become now. They just so goddamn good. You just like when things happen, you actually become heartbroken, or you become
yeah,
joyous, or you become frightened for them. You like,
yeah.
oh
Because you
damn,
become invested in the story, right?
you really do. It's like it ain't so much Mario Brothers
No.
to where you can just press the button and jump, move on, and it's like I really got to decide on how I'm gonna move in this thing. And if I do this, I can cause this to
Uh-huh.
happen. Crap. So it's like they make you think more about strategy in that way.
Does it matter if you play on Xbox, PlayStation, or something else? Does that matter at all?
It does.
Okay,
I'm a PlayStation
but you're a
guy.
PlayStation
I've
guy.
always been a PlayStation
Okay.
guy.
Any
It's
particular
just
reason that's always been like
the
that?
catalog.
Okay.
It's always been that way, but the catalog because they have exclusive stuff that's just for PlayStation.
Okay.
One of them being like Tekken. Like Tekken has always been a PlayStation thing, and then Xbox would do something similar like Dead or Alive. But you like,
It's not the same.
yeah, but Tekken came out in like
Yeah.
'96, and now they on the eighth one. Is like,
So if one of your friends say, "Hey, Charles, want to come to the house play my Xbox?" You'd be like, "Yeah, I don't know, dude. Like, I don't know, dude. You my friend, but man,
I'd still go and play, but I'd be probably complaining
you
about the
be
controller.
make some
Like,
comments and
man,
stuff."
this controller, what is this, man? It feel like I'm holding a
Yeah.
specialty mouse or something. It's like you got some people that love it, but it's like PlayStation has always been my
It's
thing.
almost like PlayStation, Xbox, almost like Android and iPhone, almost.
Yeah, it is that. Honestly, it is that way because people really start looking at what it can do for you. Like, oh, PlayStation already has this built into it. Xbox, you got to buy this
Yeah,
separately. It's like, why would I do that? No.
yeah. And you've been playing like games since a little kid.
Oh yeah, man.
Okay.
I still remember when we got a Nintendo as a child,
Uh-huh.
man. Like my brother would love to sit there and act like, oh, he got it for me, but it
Yeah,
was like, yeah,
yeah.
but it's both ours. Like I still remember playing Mario. I remember having an Atari,
Mhm. Yeah, I remember Atari.
playing not I remember Akari Warriors
Yeah.
on Atari. And it's just like stuff like that. It like, come on.
Do you ever go? I know they recently had like some kind of like a video game or gaming conference in Seattle. Do you ever go into those conferences like that or Comic Con or anything like that? Or
Man,
gaming
I
conferences?
I I have yet to go to one. That's been something that I want to do because I know it's like you got to either dedicate a day or two to that specifically because you can buy tickets for one day. But I do want to go. I know they got like, I think King Kong comes up in the fall
Yeah, 'cause I have a
in
friend.
Renton.
I have a friend. He does like SEO for YouTube gaming channels.
Yeah.
And there was like a Halo conference, something like a couple weeks ago, like $75 for 3 days. I was gonna go, but I couldn't. It was just too much.
Yeah. It's like those things I do want to definitely just go to look at because there's so many cons out. But I'd love to just go and check them out, just to view and see who they got, any special guests. Like, I ain't trying to be one of those that's like, hey, I'm there all day. I got to
Yeah,
get my ticket for this hall. It's
yeah.
like, nah, I just want to be around
Walk
in the
around
environment.
and yeah, all
Yeah,
the creativity, creative
correct,
engineering and stuff.
correct. Just want to check out the creativity, see what they got going on there. Maybe I run into something awesome, maybe
So,
not.
so if art is more traditional art, right? Have you ever thought about like combining art with like game, like doing like art for game studios, something like that?
Man, that type of stuff was my whole thing growing up was always sequential art, comic books.
Hmm.
Like that was always the thing that I wanted to be involved with because that's that was one thing that was more accessible, just buying having comic books. But you didn't think it was actually a thing you could do. Like now they actually got schools you can go to for sequential art. But like I didn't honestly think about video game art. It never comes up in my mind until somebody like would say it because it was always like I like this style and I like how they do these type of things. Like always like the way people set up comic books and how those panels were drawn. You got the splash pages, you know, and then not even realizing sometimes the cover art is done by one artist and the rest of the comic is done by another. And you be like, hold on, man, this art style ain't the same.
Yeah.
But then that way you get to learn more about the different styles and how people do their thing as well.
Okay.
So it was always more sequential art for me, not so much video game.
So what does that mean? What's sequential art? What is that?
That's basically a fancy way of saying comic book art.
Okay.
Instead of saying comic book artist.
So you talk about like how the art comic books have the frames and
correct.
stuff?
So it all goes in a sequence like a storyboard.
Okay.
So that is actual, that's what they call it now. It's a sequential art. So that's the like academic term for it now.
Okay.
You know, which, like I said, you growing up, you didn't think that was a thing.
Mhm.
Comic books, you thought, I got to go here for this degree, I got to go here. But it's like you can get specific and have that degree, which I wish more things were like that.
Yeah.
You know.
Now for art, are you pretty much self-taught, or do you go to school or something, or have an art degree, or learned, or do you just learn on your own?